Welcome back, y'all. This is the Bluechip Breakdown, and we are your hosts, Bull and Bray. This is my nephew. I told you I was going to try to get him on here, and he was gracious enough to join us. We're going to be breaking down Tennessee seeding with March Madness. I think that we're in a pretty good spot. We're going to take a look at it, and we'll talk about some other things too, some other teams and all that good stuff. But he's the one who would know a whole lot more about this stuff. But as always, y'all, please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. So with all those things being said, let's go ahead and pull this thing up. Whoops. Hold on 1 second. All right, so we got this thing pulled up. And let's take a look at the seeding. We're just going to go straight to Tennessee right now. We are in the Midwest. That's where we thought that we would end up at as the 2 seed. We can see the Houston's up at the top as that 1 seed. Georgia snuck in there. They got the Zags. They're going to probably that's going to be a tough one. We got Clemson, McNeese, who I haven't seen play. Bray, you might have seen him play. Purdue, don't want to see them at all. Hopefully they'll lose in that first round. I think that one of those guys up on the TV was saying, did they have a chance to actually lose that game? That'd be huge. Illinois, I think we played them earlier this year, and we beat them pretty good. Texas and Xavier. Kentucky, that's the one that I did not really want to see. Kentucky, but maybe they'll lose before they get to face us. They're going to be going up against Troy, UCLA versus Utah State. And then we have our Volunteers in the first game versus Wofford. And like I said, Bray, I feel pretty good about it. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is a good road for Tennessee. I mean, Houston, they're a good team. I mean, obviously Kentucky is kind of like as a team that Tennessee has had problems with this year. But other than that, I think Tennessee has a favorable road to the Final Four.
Yeah. So outside of Kentucky, who would you say might be maybe Tennessee's toughest challenge? Maybe not named Houston, or do you even think Houston is a challenge for Tennessee?
Yeah, not named Houston. I'll probably say Clemson.
Clemson?
Yeah, Clemson been playing pretty good as of late. I know they beat Duke, and they went to the
pull up some of Clemson stuff right
semifinals in that ACC tournament. So I mean they're in the ACC, so the ACC hasn't been that good this year. But other than that, I mean I feel like they're a pretty good team. I feel like they would give Tennessee the most trouble outside of Houston, obviously Kentucky.
Okay, so it looks like they just lost to Louisville. All right, I forgot exactly where Louisville's at. But let's just kind of take a look at some of their stats while we're in here, man. Field goal percentage looks good, 46.5%. They're shooting about 37% from 3. Free throws, 76%. Let's see, their leading scorer is their center.
Yeah, PJ Hall.
Is he a 3-point shooter?
I think he can kind of shoot it, but they also got Ian Sheffield. He went to Grayson.
Okay.
They got him also down there, and then they also got I think the Chase Hunter. He's from Westlake here in Georgia. And he's a real good guard. I think he's real experienced. I think it's like his 6th year or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's experienced, and Clemson's been here before. So I think they can pose some challenges for some teams in this region.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, that's excellent. That's excellent info. So we'll take a look at Tennessee compared to Wofford. So just early on, man, we are the 5th ranked team. They're 131st. I don't know how many teams, however many, but that's really low. And record versus top 25, they haven't won 1. Tennessee's 9-5, and we played up against a real. I mean, listen, SEC, we all know is the best conference in the entire country.
14 bids.
Yeah. Hey, listen, football, baseball, basketball. This is, I mean, we all know that. So we've been battle tested. So obviously, I like how this first round matchup is looking for the Tennessee Volunteers. Strength of schedule is 6. Theirs is 129th. They didn't play up against the Soul. That's something that you would anticipate that they didn't play anybody. I don't know what conference Wofford plays in. I think that they are D1AA
or something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah. They're in the Big South or something like that. Oh no, they're in the Southern Conference.
Yeah, SoCon.
Yeah, SoCon. Yeah, so they down there with Georgia Southern and all those guys. Points per game, we're averaging 74 versus real comp. They're averaging 75 versus whoever. And we already know that our defense is stout, and our defense is really good versus really high competition. Theirs is actually pretty good versus their level of competition. We'll see. How does it all match up? I think styles make fights. So we're going to jump in. Last 10 games, we're 8-2. They're 7-3. Let's see who they lost to here. Take a quick little look at this. So they lost to Furman. Furman's a pretty decent ball club, for that level of play. They lost to ETSU and Samford. Okay. All right. Now let's see their key player, Corey Tripp, guard, 15 points a game. Let's see, 3.4 assists. I wish we could click on him and see exactly what his size and all that type of stuff is, but
I'm not sure why Dalton.
Oh wow, yeah. So this still says DK. Yeah, so this is some of this stuff might be a little bit outdated, but we will see, man. I'm feeling good about it, though, just as far as Tennessee's chances right here. And down here, this is the first four. What exactly does? Okay, so these are teams that have to
they got to
play
in to win.
So what do you think about Texas's chance to maybe beat Xavier?
I think
have you seen Xavier play too much?
Nah, I haven't seen him play too much. I think I've seen him play once or twice. But I mean, like just Texas being SEC and being ballot tested, like even though their record is like 19-15, like them losing, I think they lost 14 in their games in the SEC. So if you lose 14 in your games in the SEC, you're pretty much playing versus top 25, or at least an NCAA tournament team every night. You know, and then they beat teams. I think they beat Texas A&M, and then they got Trey Johnson. He's gonna be a top 5 pick. Pro scorer. So I think Texas is definitely gonna be able to beat Xavier and then beat whoever they play in the first round. I'm not sure.
So we can actually scroll this thing back up and see who would they be playing.
They'll play Illinois. Yeah, I think they could beat Illinois.
Illinois. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So shoot, man, the ACC's doing some major things, but I want to look ahead a little bit too, Bray, and talking about where Tennessee's at this point. So we feel pretty confident that we should be able to beat Wofford. Now, one of my biggest holdups with Tennessee, we talked about this pretty much like from the midway point of our season, that I don't know, like sometimes whenever it's lesser competition, Tennessee just does not show up. If we show up, though, we will definitely beat Wofford. We should be able to get some, guys like Boswell, get him inside of the game, right? Like we should be up by 30 or 40 points. You know what I'm saying? Let him get him some reps. Let him get some confidence. I would say, hey, listen, we want you to shoot, with the 8-9 minutes that we have left in this game. Give us 10 shots. Okay, give me 10 shots. We got to work on some stuff. So after that, okay, UCLA versus Utah State. I'm not necessarily asking for you to pick because for those y'all that don't know, like I said, Bray is my nephew. We will be, going head to head in this upcoming bracket, which I am going to win. I'm going to finish higher than Bray will. But what do you think about Tennessee's chances with the next game versus UCLA or versus Utah State?
Yeah, I mean, UCLA and Utah State, I think Tennessee would definitely be favored off of, but UCLA, I mean, they're in the Big Ten, so the Big Ten is probably the second best conference this year. They score 70 points a game, 74 points a game. They're a decent team. I think they got good size in there, and they're kind of an older, experienced team. Utah State, they've been playing good these past couple games. The Mountain West has actually been a good conference this year. So going 26-7, 15-5 in their conference, that's good. So
man,
like both of those could be a little sneaky matchup, but I think Tennessee will end up just beating them off the talent, just off the depth that Tennessee has.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the injuries in UCLA. They got a few players that are out. I don't know how much they mean to that team, but that's something for us to watch out for. Maybe that would be a really good matchup for us. Looks like they've got a 4 right here that's averaging about 13 points per game. It's not playing that much, 26 minutes, so maybe they do have some pretty solid depth. I would say despite all the injuries that it looks like they have, and I'm pretty much saying that UCLA is going to end up winning this game, but I've seen UCLA play a little bit. I haven't seen Utah State play, so I have no idea. But just kind of like looking at the way that their team is built, I feel fine. I don't think that let's take a look at their 3-point shooting. That'll give me a little bit of a hint on, do they have some bigs that can stretch the floor? Where is that at?
If you go down.
Did I already pass that? Oh, okay, here it is, right here. 35% from 3. That's a team that I feel like Tennessee is going to be able to handle. Not too much worried about them. And then let me see. So after that, it would be probably, I don't know, man. So you're saying that Texas can probably beat Illinois. So maybe Texas versus Kentucky if they can get past Troy. I'm looking for Kentucky to lose early so that Tennessee don't have to worry about it. But yeah, we've played them already twice this season. They beat us both times. The third time, I think Tennessee could probably pull it out. At least I'm hoping that that's the case. I think that we're going to get way up for that game. And it's not going to be in Lexington. But right now, Tennessee will be starting off playing in Lexington, so they don't have to travel too far, something that I know a lot of people have been worried about. So I feel pretty good just about where Tennessee's at this point. Let me go ahead and get to this. Let's go ahead and get to this chat right here from 10AC Vol number 44 saying, just got here, Bull. What we got. So I don't know how long ago you said that, but yeah, we are going to be the number 2 seed in the Midwest. First game is versus Wofford, and that we feel like that's a very, very winnable game. Hopefully, y'all can see what we have up here on the screen at this point. Now, outside of that, if you come back up to the top, Bray, you said that Clemson can maybe give some problems to Tennessee. Houston, they're going to be going up against Who is that? San Diego
So,
East?
nah, it's like, like Southern Illinois, Evansville, or something like that.
Oh yeah. They're going up against Southern Evansville or something,
Yeah,
something wild.
yeah,
But
Houston's gonna win that game.
yeah, Houston should be able to just kind of like glide by. I've seen Houston play some. I was not impressed. I think Tennessee's going to be fine. If Houston does make it, when Tennessee makes it there, or if Tennessee makes it there, whatever, I think we're going to be fine. They're actually shooting about 40% from three.
Second nation.
Yeah, they got some guys. They got some good athletes, but I don't think that they have a lot of size. Tennessee's going to be fine with that. What's giving Coach Barnes teams the most trouble is teams that have bigs that can also shoot, that can stretch that floor out. That's what Florida's got. Several guys that can do that. All the teams that we've struggled with, that's pretty much what they do. So I don't really see that from Houston. Actually, what they was playing against Arizona last night, is that right?
Arizona.
And I saw Tobey out there versus, I guess, their biggest guy. Tobey was bigger than their biggest guy. Tobey is like 6'8", 6'9". He's not, he wouldn't be one of the taller, he would be like the third or fourth. I mean, he would be our smallest big this year from a height perspective. But weight wise, yeah, he can get out there and bang with you. But excuse me, I think that we're going to be fine. Excuse me. I think we're going to be fine right there. Excuse me. Daggone pollens get me, man. It is springtime, but I feel fine with that one. So I would say Houston's probably going to go on to face. I know you want to talk about Georgia versus these Zags. So what do you think here, Bray?
Yeah, Gonzaga, I mean, they kind of have a down year for their standards. They're usually like a top 5, top 4 seed. But I watched them play a little bit this year. I watched them play 2 full games. They look pretty good. They got some good experience. And Georgia, obviously watched them a lot. I'm rolling with the dogs. I mean, Aiden Noel, he's gonna be a lottery pick. Silas Demery, that's another good guard for Georgia. And I keep saying, it's just the SEC. I just feel like the strength of schedule, like you see right there, 13-40. Like the teams that are in the SEC are more battle tested than anybody else in the country. So I just feel like I feel like the SEC is gonna do real good in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it could be a little bit of a problem though, because them Zags they score on points.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. We'll see, but I think that given all things, I know that we haven't really looked at the other sides of the bracket and things like that. We're going to focus on Tennessee first. I feel like this might have been the overall best draw. Now, we talked about this earlier today. Do we want that 2 seed or do we want that 1 seed? We said it kind of felt like a lot of folks said last night, whenever they came out and said that Tennessee can't get that 1 seed regardless of what happens today, said, hey, that might be the best place for Tennessee. But then I was looking at it. We were all looking at it earlier today. I said, I don't know. I mean, this doesn't, I just didn't know. But now that we're seeing how everything played out, I think that it actually worked out a little bit better. So we could look at the West right here where Florida got the number 1 seed. They got Norfolk coming up first. But then after that, they got UConn or Oklahoma. And I think that that's going to be a problem. I think that UConn could be a problem versus Florida. And we just, I don't know if you saw this, Bray, but earlier today in my live stream after Tennessee's game, there was a Florida fan that got on there, Brando, and he was like, oh, Florida this and Florida that. And I was like, I think Tennessee's going to go further in this tournament than Florida does. Even though, Bray, would you say that Florida might be the best team in the tournament overall, or do you think it might be somebody else?
Right now, I'll probably either say Florida or Duke right now, just because, I mean, Florida, they just got so much, like, depth.
They got a lot of depth.
I feel like that's what makes them so good. Like, not even, like, the guard position, because, I mean, obviously, Walter Clay and Elijah Martin and I think Will Richard, like, those are 3 great guards, but when you could just go down to the bigs, it's like they just keep rolling. Like they just got so much size. So I think they're probably like the hottest team right now. And then Duke, I mean, Duke obviously, Cooper Flag, he was hurt for the ACC tournament, and they still went out and won. I mean, even though it's ACC, it's not really not the best of competition, but still being able to go out there and win without your best player is still like tough to do. Yeah. So I'll probably say them 2 right now. Yeah. I think they're the best teams. Yeah,
and so excuse me. With all that being said, I think that Florida might, that next round, they might have a tough draw versus UConn, because UConn, we all know they do a great job out of the tournament.
UConn, they have like a little bit of a down year this year, but I mean they're still down and they're back-to-back champs. Like winning back-to-back championships in college basketball is extremely hard to do. So he knows how to get it done. The Big East is a great conference. Got teams like St. John's, Marquette, teams like that. But I mean Oklahoma, they're a good team too. I mean they, in my opinion, I thought they should be Kentucky in the SEC tournament, and then they also got, I mean, Jeremiah Fears. I feel like that's like one of my favorite players in college basketball. He's real shifty. He can score. Yeah, I think he had 29 points versus Georgia and like 28 points versus Kentucky or something like that.
Oh yeah,
he's
balling.
So he's gonna be a lot to be picked. I just feel like when you have a player like that, I feel like you can almost win any game, especially when he's been playing versus the SEC. Like I keep saying, the whole year, and he's got every single look thrown at him. I think that's gonna be an interesting game. But I still think Florida can beat both of those teams. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would say that Florida could definitely beat both of those teams. But I'm just saying that their draw in their first couple of games, it looks more difficult than Tennessee's draw.
That whole side, I mean, Memphis, they're a good team. And then Maryland, I really like Maryland a lot. They got Derek Queen, phenomenal freshman. He's up to like 16 points, 9 rebounds. He had 31 points versus Michigan the other day. So I mean, I feel like that's definitely a tough, upper side than probably any other, maybe possibly anybody in this tournament.
Well, and so looking down here at the bottom, Kansas versus Arkansas. I think that, Coach Cal, his teams always play very well in the NCAA tournament. They might move on to that next round to go up against St. John's as the number 2 seed out west. And I think the St. John's is a really good team. Could they maybe get upset right there and maybe make it a little bit of an easier path for Florida? Excuse me. I'm going for all the best teams to win over there so that Florida can't make it. I just want to shut Florida fans up. I cannot stand Florida fans at all. I mean, I think most of us probably feel the exact same way. And we're going to scroll this thing on up so that y'all can see how the other brackets looking. We're going to get in here to the chat because I want to see what everyone's talking about. We're going to get in here for just a minute. All right. So right here, he is responding, saying, awesome. Thank you for that. And from Rhonda, it's hard for me to read your last name because the screen is so small, but it's saying, hey, guys, do you think playing Kentucky again will be a charm for us? Yeah, that's exactly what I just said. Playing them again, I think that might be a good look for Tennessee. I don't know if they really wanted to see us. Not 3 times. I mean, I don't know if they wanted to see us like that.
They're also really banged up too. I mean,
good.
Jackson Robinson, I think he's out for the season, and they're playing on Lamont Butler. He had a little shoulder injury, and I want to say the Oklahoma game he couldn't play. I mean, they said he'll be back for the tournament, but it's probably still gonna be nagging.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're also banged up. So I feel like that also favors Tennessee as well.
Yeah, perfect. I love hearing that. So Anderson Hutzel, I hope that I'm saying that right. Again, it's very difficult for me to see. I need to go get me some glasses. But saying, did Tennessee get the number 1 or 2 seed? So we got the number 2 seed in the Midwest.
I might be asking number 1, like 2 seed, like the best.
Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you, Bray. Yeah, you're reading that better than I am. Yeah. So the number 1, 2 seed. I think that we did, Bray. Is that right? Because I think it was either Denver or Alabama. I'm not sure. Yeah. So I think that the team in the Midwest, because we're both in the South. I don't know. I really couldn't even tell you. I wish that they had that up here, but I don't know what the overall. If we finished 5th or if we finished 6th, but it was one of those two. So yeah, I think that at the end of the day, the main thing is that I feel like we got a better draw than what Alabama got. And right here from 10AC, Vol, number 44, saying how many SEC teams in. I don't know. What was 14, like 13, 14 SEC teams?
Record, I think.
Wow, dude. I mean, that's crazy.
16 teams.
Oh yeah, there it is. 14 SEC teams. Yeah, cool. So some of y'all already answered some of the stuff is, before we can even get to it, from G4 saying that he likes our path and that Kentucky is interesting, but they ain't beating us. Okay, 3 times in 1 year. Let's go to the Final Four, 100%. And also say, okay, I should have said 3 times in 1 year. Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you for chiming in. And from Anderson is also saying, quit talking baby talk. What is that? What is he talking about? All right. So, I think that we are going to be just fine. But I want to talk about the rest of this bracket. So, which side you want to start off with, Bray? You want to start with the South or with the East?
We can start with the South. Auburn.
Okay, so Auburn, they're going to be playing up against lesser competition, super lesser competition, of course. Yeah. And then after that, they'll probably see. Who do you think? Well, not who do you think, but Louisville or Creighton? Do you think either one of those teams can give Auburn some problems?
I mean, watching Louisville last night. I mean, they played Duke a good, probably a good half. I mean, they kind of ran on gas kind of later in the second half. Mm-hmm. But they got like a lot of experience on that team. I mean, they got guys like Terrence Edwards, Chucky. I'm not sure how to say his last name, but he came from Wisconsin. He's a good guard for them. And mm-hmm. They're also getting. They also then have Ryan Smith, was one of the best shooting in college basketball yesterday versus Duke. So I think Louisville might be able to give Auburn a good game, and that could be maybe a tough draw for Auburn.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking so too. Michigan, they're a team with some bigs. They can do some okay things. I'm not too concerned about them. I think that they'll probably go on versus UC San Diego. Now, this UC San Diego, they're not a bad ball club, brother.
They can shoot it with the they can really shoot it. They got a couple good ball hands on the team. So I mean that's a upset matchup. They were talking on the selection show that could be maybe an upset.
Yeah, man. UC San Diego. You got to watch out for those guys. So we got Texas A&M versus Yale. And Bray, I think that you said that you I don't want to give away your secrets and stuff, but I think that you said that Yale was a pretty good team.
Yeah, I seen Yale play today. I mean, they got a good a good balanced team. I like their guard play from what I seen today. I don't think Devin was on the team anymore. They have. I'm not sure to say his name, but. He was a good player today. I think he had like 23, like 4 rebounds, like 4 assists. And then I feel like they're returning a lot of their players from last year, and they upset Auburn in the first round. So I think Yale's a good team, but Texas A&M's also SEC. They have a unique style that I think is very hard to get prepared for.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's gonna be a good matchup for sure.
Yep. So Ole Miss, I'm sure that they'll probably go on, and then we got Iowa State versus Lipscomb. That should be chalk right there. Marquette versus New Mexico. They made a big deal out of this one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know if – I think that in one of my previous brackets, I actually picked New Mexico, and I think that they did a pretty decent job. Looking at these numbers here.
New Mexico they're a good team. I mean, they're in the Mountain West. They got Donovan Dick. He's one of the best guards in college basketball. I mean, I think I'm not sure he's averaging, but I think he's probably like top 15 in assists. And he can score too. I want to say he's averaging like north of 17 points a game or something like that. So that's an interesting matchup. Marquette has Cam Jones, another great guard. I think he had like 10 points in like the first 6 minutes for St. John's Saturday or whatever yesterday. So I think that's
averaging 17 points a game.
Yeah,
it's not too bad.
He's a nice little guard, can score, and then Shaka Smart is a great coach for Marquette. So I think that's a pretty interesting matchup.
Yeah, and then we got Michigan State versus Bryan. I think Michigan State's a pretty good team. We watched them just really take it to Michigan. That was my first time really sitting down and watching them play, and I said, yeah, they look like they're pretty good. So I don't know. I would say that probably so far that we've looked at, this South region looks pretty easy. Tennessee's Midwest region looks pretty easy. I don't know which one is going to be softer. I think that you could probably make the argument that actually this one would probably be the easier out of all of them, even though we lost to Ole Miss. That's a team that if we played them again, we'd beat them by like 30 points. So looking at the East, okay, last one here, Duke, they're like you talked about, Bray, they are a good team. Another ACC team, Mississippi State versus Baylor. What do you think about this matchup? Do you think it's
Mississippi State versus Baylor? Baylor's interesting. They played, I want to say they played Houston like real tight, like the last game in the regular season. Like they're interesting, but Mississippi State, they're a good team as well. They got Josh Herbert, a great guard. He can really shoot it. He gets his guys involved. They kind of been on a slid here lately. I think they were like top 15 team at one point, and then they got into like a losing streak. But I still think they can. I still think Mississippi State and Baylor, it's gonna be a good game. But I still think Mississippi State will pull it out.
Okay. All right. Well, look, you don't gotta tell us who you think is gonna win unless you want me to, because you already know I'm playing for keeps. Okay. And I'm gonna take any information that you use here, I'm gonna use it against you. All right. So you better be careful. All right. So Oregon versus Liberty. I don't know. Oregon's supposed to be pretty good. Arizona versus Akron, like we talked about. Tobe's out there. They've got a good looking guard. BYU versus VCU. BYU. Supposedly, they've got some stuff going on. And then we've got Wisconsin versus Montana. And, Wisconsin, I heard that they're supposed to be pretty good, supposed to have a pretty nice offense, right? Let's take a look at what these guys are doing. Let's take a look at some of these numbers here. 35% from three, shooting about 46% from the field. Free throw shooting is really good. That's something else that I'll probably be looking out for Tennessee. Is this John Toje? Is he or Atonje? I said that wrong. Is he still there? Do you know? Or
he's still there.
Averaging about 20 points a game?
Yeah, he's a good guard. He's real physical. He's real strong.
Is that the one who we just saw dunk? He dunked? Yeah, okay, yeah.
He's a great guard. I seen a clip. They put Michigan State to go to the semifinals in the handshake line. One of the Michigan State players was like, "You're my player of the year." So I think he earns a lot of respect from people. I think he's a really good player.
Yep. Then we got St. Mary's versus Vandy. Boy, Vanderbilt was fired up about playing St. Mary's. They was fired up about that. They feeling confident about it, and I think they'll probably end up pulling this one out. But just kind of like looking at this matchup right here, because I know a lot of folks probably want to see what is Vanderbilt going to do. Who do they get matched up with? And you're going to see some of these stats and things like that. But yeah, oh dang, I don't know what I just did, but I just did something. I did not mean to do it. All right, so let's go. Okay, so the next one would be Alabama. They get Robert Morris. So it could potentially be Alabama versus Vandy in that second round. So SEC. I mean, it just, hey, look, this is March Madness. It's going to be a whole lot of fun matchups and things like that. Let me also let's see. Did we get any new chats in? This one right here from Rhonda saying, what team that's not talked about may make an impact? So, Bray, is there any team that hasn't been talked about too much that you feel like could make a pretty strong impact?
Like as far as like the 1 or 2 seeds, I feel like a team that everyone's sleeping on. Well, I mean, not really sleeping on, a team that like not a lot of people are like talking about is St. John's. I mean, even though they're on the same time with Florida, but they have a lot of like big like they just play physical, and then Coach Rick Pitino, he's a legendary coach. So I just feel like they're gonna be prepared, and they have to play Florida, which is gonna be which would be a tough game if both of them got there. But I think St. John's would be I feel like that's like the best sleeper pick.
I think they match up well with them.
Yeah,
I do. I think they match up real well with them. Just personally, yeah. So we will see, man. I guess over here we might have to go through Houston to be able to get there, and then would it work? Is it Midwest versus West after that? So we will play the winner of the West, or is
East.
Okay, East. Okay, so next we would have to play against more than likely Duke. Whatever. I'm not too concerned with them. And then wherever we get after that is, once we make it to that Final Four, everything is up from there. So I'm loving where Tennessee's sitting at. I think that Bray might feel the exact same way. We'll see if Georgia can sneak out a daggum lucky victory, because they're not deserving of even being inside of the tournament.
Very deserving, very deserving of being in the tournament.
Yep.
First time since 2014.
Been a long time coming, man. But that's going to be it, though. We just wanted to kind of chop it up with y'all. Think that Tennessee is in a good spot, and the tournament starts on Tuesday? Is it Monday or Tuesday?
The first 4 starts on Tuesday, and then the first real games of the tournament start on Thursday.
On Thursday, okay, all right. So we got some days of rest, man. Our players definitely need to be in the lab. Actually, is there anything that you would maybe point to, Bray, to say that this team needs to be working on? I'm talking about Tennessee, obviously. Is there anything that maybe they should be working on, before we get into the tournament?
I just think finding different players to score. I mean, not every today, Chaz, he didn't have the best game because he's in foul trouble, and I find that kind of him prohibited them from playing a little bit better than me. Even though Jordan Gainey came out, he played great. I think he had 26 points, something like that.
Yeah,
just
it was like 24.
Yeah, finding somebody else, and find someone else when Sakai's at the game, kind of hand the ball and kind of run the offense a little bit better. Because when Sakai's not in the game, it's a lot of one-on-one ball or a little bit of bad shots being took. So I feel like if they can find those 2 things, I think that's going to help them in the long run to be able to get to a Final Four and a national championship potential. Yeah,
so I'm going to go out here and say right here, right now, you need to work on consistently hitting those free throws, because the way that we're driving to the basket, we're going to get foul calls. We just got to be able to hit those shots. That's always going to make a very big difference in these types of games. And I'm also going to point out Tennessee's bigs. I think that our bigs have to step up in a very major way. You got to play physical ball, okay? You got to go get rebounds, okay? You got to be some sort of a scoring presence down in the paint, all right? Mayshak, you got to hit your open looks, or at least shoot them. You know what I'm saying? Shoot with some confidence and just keep on doing what you're doing outside of that. I want to see us try to get Bishop Boswell involved a little bit more. I want to see D-Stone work that paint area even more. Keep on playing really tough physical defense. Let's not ever get lazy. Let's not get tired. Let's close out on these shooters. And if you got to hard foul somebody, but pull out all the stops. You can't be tired. There's no more tomorrow. It's win or go home. It's do or die. And we just need to see these guys play, a full game, okay? A full, how many minutes is it? 40 minutes, whatever. 40 minutes. A full 40-minute game, every single game and just keep on putting that together back to back to back. And I think the Tennessee will be fine. We got a pretty favorable draw, and we all love it. And that is going to be it. Let me actually see. It looks like we got a couple more chats that came in. We're going to try to get to these right here. So this right here is from Mike Fink. I think that I'm saying that right. Saying that I love this seating. Final Four. Here we come. Love that positivity. And then right here, Rhonda is saying that she agrees with me. Thank y'all so much for joining us today. And as always, please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And we'll have plenty more coverage of March Madness and of our volunteers, of our volunteers, not his, coming here very shortly. But we'll see y'all in just a minute. Thanks. Peace.